Okay, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for taking time out.
No, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
So, like, the first thing I want to ask you is typical question is like, what drew you to want to act? Like, when did your passion start?
Um, I think it was when I was pretty young, and I think we had some VHS tapes of old movie On the Waterfront, East of Eden, Streetcar, and I remember watching them and thinking, "Oh my gosh!" I don't know. I felt like I could relate to the character
Okay.
of Eden, and I never seen storytelling like that. And then I think the big one for me was when I was a kid and I saw Point Break in the movie theater.
Yes.
It was the first rated R movie I saw in the movie theater. And I remember thinking, like, that's what it's like to be an adult. I want to be an adult. And now I regret thinking that. But, I think that's it, really. And Bodhi, that character is my Patrick Swayze's portrayal of that character is my favorite on-screen performance, probably.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? You're an actor as well, right?
I mean, yes, yeah. Like I did like a few little things like low budget horror films and
That's
stuff like
cool.
nothing big.
That's awesome, though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was like a killer in like one film and a victim in like the rest of them.
Yeah. The killer or the victim. That's yeah. That's like life.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. And I see like you besides the acting, you also produce and you make music too. And when did you start doing both of them?
Well, producing is something that I'm kind of starting to try to get into now, just to
Oh,
kind of
okay.
um, I guess take a little bit more control if I can of the trajectory of my career and do films that I care about. That's the idea. That's my hope and dream and goal. Music. When I was 12, I found the guitar, and I initially just wanted to do. I thought I would just do music, and but now my instruments are like pieces of furniture, which is kind of sad. It's I feel like every person, not every person, but eventually a lot of people have that situation where their guitar is just quietly staring at them, like, "Are you gonna play me ever again?"
Right.
uh, but yeah, I would like to do. I did a little bit of score stuff for film before, and I like doing that. I'd like to do that more, but
Oh, nice.
you
Uh, So, I mean, are you planning on doing something like that for any future films or TV?
I think if I get with some people and I can kind of play them some music, and we're talking about doing some a film potentially down the road, maybe they'll like a piece or something, kind of like clandestinely get it in there.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that I don't have the type of resume where I think even if I was involved with the production that they'd want to entrust that to me yet. But eventually it'd be cool to do that for sure. I've got a bunch of tracks just that are sitting in various places on the internet that I could do a few scores off of them. But
Oh,
you know,
okay.
we'll see what
And
happens. I don't know. That's a whole other, and I wouldn't want to step on somebody else's toes who like that's their actual, you know, uh, job description or whatever. And
and you've also done some horror stuff, and one of the horror films you were in is called Bit, and you played Vlad. Now,
yeah.
is it the actual Vlad, like the actual Drac Dracula, the vampire?
I believe it's kind of based on. Well, I can't speak for the writer. I know that I kind of based a little bit on a Rasputin kind of
Gotcha.
element, and then there were some other elements too. But that the Vlad was definitely there. The idea, I think, was just that there would be this kind of amalgam, like places he's lived and past lives throughout history because he's so old. And yeah, that was a good experience. That was fun.
Oh, nice, nice. And then another horror film that you were in is Boogeyman Pop, and from what I saw, it's like three different horror stories in like one film. Which horror story did you do? And you play Matt, I think it was in the horror story, right?
Yeah, he's kind of incubus that kind of preys on the young people of the town. And I believe it's been a long time since I've seen that, but kind of in like the middle section of that. And
Oh, okay.
in my scenes, I have a song that I wrote that's
Oh,
playing a
nice.
scene where I'm in the car and I'm taking her back to my lair. And that was we shot that in Bend, Oregon. And I lived there for a while as well. And that was right around the time my daughter was being right before she was born.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. And what did you love about doing horror films? Like me, my favorite stuff is horror films. So what did you like about actually being in horror films?
Um, I think the idea is that the some of the reality I was dealing with the character is kind of so heightened, um, like an alternate universe, and going to a place that is a little bit theatrical, maybe, but also grounded in some of these people I've seen and watched or heard about or read about, and
Mm.
kind of putting these things together. Um, in those movies, particularly, it feels like my world is completely kind of separate, but also intertwined because they're talking about the character. The the other characters mention, Vlad or Matt in the movie, and it kind of creates this thing I've experienced where I think the audience builds up this anticipation of seeing this person there, this figure they're talking about, and so I kind of felt a little bit of pressure, like if I don't nail it, then I'm gonna mess up the expectations and let the audience down. But that also
Oh,
gives you kind of I mean, there's various forms of characters and horror universes, but for me, it was basically, you know, a vampire and an incubus. So it's interesting to play with. It's fun. Yeah.
and and you were also part of the big hit film Civil War. And what did you love when you read the script for the film? What did you love most about the film after like reading the script and playing Pete?
I think, well, it was just one of the best scripts I've ever read, and a huge opportunity. Um, and Alex Garland, I mean, his name alone, what he's done in his career, a brilliant filmmaker, great opportunity. But I like the fact that that by the end of the characters are so well developed that by the end of there's this big action sequence, and most of the times in film when you see a big action sequence, it's just like loud guns going off. You're
Yeah.
not invested in the characters, but there's like four, 3 or 4 things going on internally with some of these main characters, and with each one of them, when I've watched the film, I was experiencing the anxiety that one of them was experiencing. I was experiencing
Oh,
adrenaline that one of them was experiencing, and the different elements that went into it so perfectly. And I feel like you have to be a master filmmaker in order to pull that off. That by the end, towards the end of the film, you understand these characters so well, and to just be a part of that was just a huge gift, and I feel really grateful.
nice. And for anyone who hasn't seen the film yet, can you tell us a little bit about Pete, about who Pete is in Civil War?
Yeah, well, I have like a lot of the supporting cast, we have these really great scenes. So I'm guarding the gas station with my gun. There's like a few of us there, and they need to refuel because they're on a trip from New York to Washington, D.C. And so along their journey, I'm kind of the first person they encounter of this world, this landscape of civil war going on in the United States. So I have an exchange with them, and it kind of starts to set the tone of what's going to take place as they get closer to their destination, and they ultimately want to interview and photograph the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like the stuff I talk about him being a father and this, it's not really in the film. It's just what I kind of created like a backstory, just because
Oh, okay.
trying to imagine myself in this kind of circumstance, and as a father, what I would do. How do I think I would handle it?
Mhm.
It might be different the way that Pete handles it, but at the same time, trying to get away in so that I can kind of understand, more.
Oh yeah, definitely. And where did you wind up filming at? Like where was your scene shot?
I was in well, we were staying in Atlanta, but we were probably like an hour out. I'm not too familiar with the area, but it was just kind of rural gas station, beautiful country. I mean, the thing that I hadn't spent much time there before, but I just kept looking out the window as we were driving to the location. Just the long, like huge sprawling land with just these beautiful homes, and just the landscape was just beautiful. And but that it was so authentic. The gas station was a real gas station, and I remember the guy who owned it. He kept, at the end of my last day, he kept asking one of the PAs if he could meet Alex, and so it was real. It was a real environment that we were in.
Did you get to go out in town? Like did you get to go out eating and grabbing a drink or whatever?
I usually just I'm pretty boring. I just usually stick to myself, and I hang out at the maybe a hotel bar, but I spent a lot of time in my room. Or I went to a restaurant once, and it was really good. Um, I walked around a little bit, but I was only there like a week or a week and a half, so I really just wanted to focus on trying to do the best job I could do in the film,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was about it. But it was Atlanta, man. That's a whole I had never experienced it before, and it's definitely its own thing.
Yeah, because I hear now like they're getting a lot of films there now, like
Yeah,
film and
yeah.
television. I'm pretty sure they're shooting the last season of Stranger Things there, and like more and more television and films are being filmed there now. It's becoming a big a big spot.
Yeah, it's huge. I think Tyler Perry owns like a bunch of studios, and I know that he was out there. There was studios that he had out there, and where he does a lot of stuff. I'm not sure if he currently does, or I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know there's a lot of production companies that are out there, and a lot of people making films out there.
Yeah,
It seems like there, and Canada, a lot there. It's just all
Canada's another big spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just did a film last year that shot in LA, which was rare to experience these days. And everything's kind of, you go somewhere else, some other state, some other country to shoot nowadays.
Oh my God. And while you were on set for Civil War, was there any cool stories that happened on set? Like any cool stories?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily a story, but just for me, like the kindness and generosity that everybody had, but it's specifically Alex and Kirsten Dunst and Wagner. Everybody was really nice, but particularly some of the things that conversations I had with Alex and Kirsten was just, it was a huge deal to me. It was really,
Oh,
really
wow.
special. Yeah. And I actually befriended this guy who was kind of at the hotel. His name was Slim. And he was like this big guy that was, he was homeless or whatever. And so I would start to like, uh, we had this little corner where we would hang out in, and I actually um, would get him like drinks and stuff. It was really cool. I couldn't understand a thing he was saying until like the fifth or sixth day, and then I started to make out what he's saying. But um, I love meeting authentic people
Oh
and
yeah.
hanging out with them, and like feeding off their energy and kind of like seeing what I can, life lessons I can gain from them. And so that was something that just came to mind that I really enjoyed too. Is it's the Slim guy, and um, that was cool.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. And when you're not filming, like what do you like doing during your free time?
Um, Mostly hanging out with my kids and my wife, and I really enjoy sitting around and talking to my wife about just whatever. We're really good friends and best friends, and but we have a business together here in Corona, Riverside,
Oh,
Kansas.
nice.
It's called the Artists Collective, and we do like art classes and paint parties and events and stuff like that. And so um, I handle the phones. So I got people calling me all day asking me about, oh, how much is the art class, or do you have this date open for an event? And sometimes it gets, man, people can be people are peoply, as someone once put it perfectly. But it's a real joy to see like kids and even adults too who don't think they have any creative bone in their body kind of do a
Mhm.
class, talk about how they're not going to be able to do it, and then by the end of it, they just they feel so empowered. So they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did this. And so
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that's what we spend a lot of time doing. Um,
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I always wanted to try one of those things out. Like I live in Philly and
yeah,
they got like a couple different things in Philly where you could go and paint and drink wine and
yeah,
stuff like that, or make crafts. And yeah, I always wanted to try it at it. I have to try it.
you should do it. And if
Definitely.
you're ever
Yeah.
out here, it's on the house. Just come in, and I don't know if you get out to Southern California very often, but
I I mean that's definitely a trip I want to make. Like I never been anywhere in California yet. Like
oh, okay,
that's always something I wanted to do was go over and visit. Like I don't know, Los Angeles, Hollywood, whatever. Like it's definitely something I want to do.
yeah, for sure.
Nice. And what kind of music do you like? Like what's on your playlist?
Recently, I've been listening to this band called Sound Days. They've got a couple singles out that are really good. One of them is called, off the top of my head, "It Never Got Saved." It's one of them, and they're on TikTok and Instagram, and um, I like them a lot. Flamingo Dogs is another one I like. I listen to all kinds of stuff. So sometimes I get into this. I was listening to, let's say, just like yesterday. Yesterday, I was listening to Barry Manilow
Oh
and
yeah.
Carpenters, and then
Nice.
Rage Against the Machine and Tool, and then I finished it off with like Waylon Jennings. So it's like, it's all over the place, really. I
And
have to have music on constantly because
oh yeah.
I hear silence. It gives me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I can't be in a quiet room. Like I have to have some kind of noise, like whether it's music or people talking.
Do
Like
you sleep with a
I
fan
can't
or white
sleep.
noise on?
No, I no,
Oh,
I never tried that yet.
yeah, I got my ceiling fan on, and then on my phone I got the box fan thing going, so that I have the white noise, and then I keep the air, not the air, but like the house fan on as well. Because if I don't have that, I'm not going to be able to sleep.
Yeah,
It's
true, true. Yeah, I'm the same way. I need something like some kind of music or noise or yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah.
And if you were gonna do a karaoke song, what do you think you would sing?
Actually, it's funny that you asked me this question right now because yesterday I thought to myself, I think I could do a really good version of this on karaoke. And it was "Don't Do Me Like That" by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah,
And I was
definitely.
actually
Yeah,
singing it in the car, thinking, well, I'm not going to a karaoke bar anytime soon, but if I was, and I was pretending that I was singing, I don't know, yeah, that's embarrassing to admit, but it's really weird that you asked me that question because I literally thought that yesterday. Wow.
nice, nice.
That's not like a thing I think all the time. Oh, this would be a good karaoke
Well,
song.
yeah,
The fact
exactly.
that you asked me that question, just that's great.
And I always ask my guests this when I have them on because, like I said, I'm a huge horror fan. Are there any horror films that you like to watch?
I was just showing my daughter Scream
Mhm.
the other day. We didn't finish it, but I think we'll finish it soon. But I remember watching the original Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original
Yeah.
horror. Um,
Yes.
um, I don't know, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I don't know if
Oh
that's
my God, yeah, I love that movie.
and Frailty was the one that I revisited, and my daughter loved it.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
surprised. I'm not surprised that she loved it, but she was engaged with the film
Yeah,
in a way
yeah.
for an 8-year-old that was something with about it kind of resonated with her. I think I'm not. That might sound weird, but it's just a really great film, and I watched that recently. Um,
Oh, nice.
I don't know how you define like I'm not like a horror aficionado or anything, so I don't know how you define like what if it's whether it's a slasher, whether it's what
Oh, yeah, yeah.
subgenres there are within the genre. But um, off my novice knowledge, that's basically what comes to mind.
Oh, sweet. Those are great choices too. I love all the films you mentioned.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day how I remember being a kid, and I remember how insanely crazy it was when Scream came out with the voice things you
Mhm.
could buy and with the mask. Like it was everywhere. It was
I know.
were you I don't know how old you are, but the I was alive when that movie came out, and
Oh
it was
yeah, same. Yeah.
that was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah,
Kids would get in
yeah.
trouble for wearing the mask to school and stuff.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, like once that movie came out, everyone was on a screen craze, like you were saying, like wearing the mask and had the voice changers. And the thing that shocked me with that movie was I thought Drew Barrymore was gonna be the final girl, and she got killed at the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that was like the big uh, thing that they did to that bait and switch, I guess, or something, just to put it in there to. I thought that was a brilliant idea to do that.
Yeah, because like at that time the actors weren't known yet. The only known one was Drew Barrymore, so you would think she would be the one that lives.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
And the last thing I'm gonna ask you is like, where can fans follow you at, and do you have anything coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah, I have Instagram. It's I think it's at Greg John Hill, I think. And there's a film coming out, a Blumhouse film actually, that I'm in, coming out in August. It's called They Listen, and I think I think you'll like it a lot. Trailer hasn't been released or anything, so I'm just kind of waiting for that to come out. But that was, yeah, that's it. I think really.
Sweet. I definitely look forward to that because I'm a huge fan of Blumhouse. Like I love their horror films, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's good. It's gonna be good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and taking time out of your day. I appreciate it, buddy.
No, thank you. It's great to have met you, and I'll give you a little handshake.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, Rocco.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a great day, man, and thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a good one. It was fun. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.